a low rumbling laugh that shakes the foundations of his hell. Guilt asks. I left guilt in the grave with the boy they killed. Why should I apologize for the monster I became when no one apologized for making me this way? That is the ultimate freedom. The realization that you owe them nothing. Not an explanation, not a defense, not a tear. I have become a mirror. When they look at me now, they don't see me. They see their own sins reflected back at them. They see the consequences of their actions, standing tall, breathing, and smiling. And that terrifies them. They hate me not because I am bad, but because I am the living proof of their failure to break me. They tried to crush a diamond, and they're angry that it only cut their hands. My smile is a weapon. It is sharper than any blade they possess. Because when you smile while you are walking through hell, you destroy the power hell has over you. When you remain calm while the world is burning, you become the master of the fire. I am not waiting for the storm to pass. I am the storm. I am the chaos that brings order. I am the destruction that brings creation. I walk with a swagger now, not of arrogance, but of certainty. The certainty of someone who has seen the worst the world can do and survived it. What can they possibly do to me now? Break my heart. It's made of stone. Ruin my reputation. I don't care what sheep think of a wolf. Take my money. I can rebuild empires from dust because I possess the blueprint in my mind. I have stripped away the fear of death because I have already died 1,000 spiritual deaths. Every time I had to pick myself up off the floor, I died and was reborn. I am on my 1,000th life. I am eternal. So let the devil come. Let him bring his demons. Let him bring the ghosts of my past. Let him bring the memories of every person who betrayed me. I will welcome them all. I will set a table for them. I will pour them a drink, and then I will look them in the eye, and I will laugh. I will laugh because I own them. I own the pain. I own the darkness. I own the narrative. I am not the tragic hero of this story. I am the conquering king who returned from the crusade with blood on his armor and a crown on his head, a crown forged from the shrapnel of the battles I fought alone. To those watching, to those who feel the heat of the flames licking at their heels right now, stop running. Turn around. Face the fire. Step into it. Let it burn away everything that is weak, everything that is temporary, everything that is nice. Let it burn the leash they put on you. And when you are standing in the center of the inferno, when the smoke clears and you are the only thing left standing, do not scream. Do not cry. Look the devil in the eye and smile. Because the moment you smile at your nightmare is the moment the nightmare ends and your reign begins. I am not a survivor. Survivor implies I barely made it out. I am a warrior who conquered the land of the dead and decided to build a castle there. I walk through hell with a smile because I own the place. The flames recognize their master. The shadows bow when I pass. I am the exception. I am the anomaly. I am the one who refused to stay down. And if that makes me a monster, then thank God for the claws. Thank God for the teeth. Thank God for the darkness. It saved me when the light refused to. Now I walk not away from the fire, but through it. And I am not alone. I have my strength. I have my scars. And I have this smile, this terrifying, beautiful, unshakable smile. Watch me. Watch me burn and not turn to ash. Watch me suffer and not make a sound. Watch me face the devil and watch him blink first. I am the one who knocks on the door of the abyss. I am the one who stares into the void until the void looks away. I am the smile in the dark, and I am just getting started. Music, AI features, feedback. Transform your transcript with AI-powered insights. Search AI features. Output language. AI responses will be in this language learning software. Most used. Your top 5 features based on usage. No favorites yet. Start using features and your top 5 will appear here automatically. Popular features. Summary. Comprehensive overview. Key insights. Main takeaways. Clean transcript. Remove filler words. Proper notes. Comprehensive notes. Basic content. Summaries and transcripts. Analysis. Deep insights and patterns. Study and education. Learning and note-taking tools. Content creation. Social media and blog content. Specialized. advanced analysis tools, generated content, AI-powered outputs from your transcript. Click any AI tool above to generate content here. Finding this tool useful? Bookmark us Ctrl+D for easy and fast access. Bookmark this silly little tool? Looks like you found the transcript you needed. Before you head off, did you know you can bookmark our site? Use this keyboard shortcut to bookmark us Rocket Ctrl+D that way. Next time you need a transcript, you can find us easily without searching again. Super handy, right? Close. Disclaimer: YouTube2Transcript.com is an independent service and is not associated or affiliated with YouTube or Google. Any brand names or logos displayed on this site are used for illustrative purposes only and do not imply endorsement or partnership. Read the rest of the disclaimer here. Copyright 2024. All rights reserved. Terms and conditions. Privacy policy. Contact. Do not share my personal information. Oops, something went wrong. It seems our consent manager, CMP, couldn't load properly. To ensure you have the best experience on our site, please consider disabling your ad blocker or adjusting your browser's privacy settings to allow the loading of our cookie consent manager and Google Tag Manager. Many features of this site may not work as intended until you do so. Close. Copy. Close. Music. Because he realized the greatest joke of all. The devil wanted to torture him, to make him beg, to make him crawl. But he stood up, looked the devil in the eye, and realized that hell had no power over a man who had already burned everything he loved. He laughs, daughter, because he knows something the devil doesn't. He isn't just a visitor in hell anymore. He's the landlord. When the devil finally showed his face, he didn't find me huddling in the corner. He didn't find me praying for salvation. He didn't find me trembling, begging for a bargain or pleading for my soul. He found me waiting. And when our eyes met, his burning with the fires of 1,000 ancient sins and mine cold, dead, and still as a frozen lake. He was the one who flinched. Because when I saw the devil, I didn't scream. I laughed. I laughed not because I was insane. I laughed because he was late. He thought he brought hell with him. He thought he could introduce me to suffering. I looked at him and I smiled, a smile that cut my face like a jagged piece of glass. And I whispered, "Do you really think you can scare me with fire? I have been burning since the day I was born. I have been walking through flames so long that the fire doesn't burn anymore. It just feels like home." You see, the devil relies on the element of surprise. He relies on the idea that you are innocent, that you are soft, that you are unprepared for the darkness. But he didn't know who I had become. He didn't know that long before he arrived. The humans, the ones who claimed to love me, the ones who claimed to be my friends, my family, my blood, had already done his work for him. They hollowed me out. They carved the humanity out of my chest with dull knives. Day by day, lie by lie, the devil deals in grand gestures of evil. But they deal in the subtle evils, the betrayal that comes with a hug, the poison served in a golden cup, the stab in the back while they look you in the eye and tell you they love you. That is real evil. That is the training ground that made me. So when I face the darkness now, I face it with a laugh because I realize the great cosmic joke. The monsters under the bed are nothing compared to the monsters I sat at the dinner table with. I remember who I used to be. I remember the version of me that was soft. The one who apologized for taking up space. The one who thought that if I just gave enough, if I just bled enough, if I just loved enough, the world would love me back. I was a child of the light, naive and foolish. I carried my heart in my hands, offering it to anyone who looked hungry. And they ate. They feasted on my kindness. They mistook my silence for weakness and my patience for cowardice. They broke that version of me. They shattered him into 1,000,000 pieces and scattered him across the floor of my history. And for a long time, I mourned him. I cried for the boy I was. I tried to put the pieces back together, tried to glue the porcelain back into the shape of a man. But the pieces didn't fit anymore. The edges were too sharp. The design was lost. And then, in the silence of my own despair, in the deepest pit where they left me to rot, I realized something. I didn't need to be put back together. I didn't need to be fixed, because the thing that shattered was only a shell. It was a cage, and when they broke the cage, they didn't destroy me. They released me. That is why I laugh. I laugh at their mistake. They thought they were burying me, but they didn't know I was a seed. They thought they were drowning me, but they didn't know I could breathe underwater. They pushed me into the abyss, expecting to hear the thud of a body hitting the bottom. Instead, they heard the sound of wings unfurling. They heard the sound of something climbing back up, something that no longer needed the light to see. I am not a victim of my past. I am the architect of my future, built on the ruins of their betrayal. I have learned the lesson that only the broken can learn. Pain is not a punishment. Pain is a forge. Every insult they threw at me was a hammer blow that beat the iron of my soul into steel. Every betrayal was the heat that tempered me. Every night I spent alone staring at the ceiling, wondering why I wasn't enough. Was the grinding stone that sharpened me into a weapon. I stopped asking, why is this happening to me? And started saying, thank you for the ammunition. Music. The devil looks at me and he is confused. He sees the scars. Yes, he sees the wounds, but he doesn't see fear. He sees a map. Every scar is a lesson I survived. Every wound is a badge of honor that says, I was here. I fought and I won. I face him with a laugh because I have mastered the art of alchemy. I took the lead and weight of my depression, the heavy chains of my anxiety, the suffocating smoke of their gaslighting, and I turned it all into gold. Not the gold you spend, but the gold of the spirit, unbreakable, untarnishable. I walked through the valley of the shadow of death. I didn't just fear no evil. I became the thing the evil feared. I looked at the shadows, and I realized they were part of me. Why should I run from the dark when the dark is where I do my best work? The light is blinding. The light is full of distractions. But the dark is honest. In the dark, you see things as they really are. When I say I laugh at the devil, I mean that I have detached myself from the need for their approval, their pity, or their mercy. I have severed the emotional cords that allowed them to control me like a marionette. There was a time when their words could cut me. A look of disappointment could ruin my week. A rejection could shatter my confidence. But that was before I died. That was before I walked into the funeral of my old self and shoveled the dirt onto the coffin myself. Now their words are just wind against a mountain. They can scream, they can howl, they can throw their storms against me. But I do not move. I do not erode. I stand. I have cultivated a garden of indifference. I watch them play their little games, their manipulation tactics, their power plays. And it looks like children fighting in a sandbox. It's adorable, really. They think they are kings and queens moving pawns on a board. They don't realize I flipped the table over a long time ago. I'm not playing their game anymore. I'm building my own world with my own rules. And in my world, liars don't get to speak and traitors don't get a seat. I face the devil with a laugh because I have embraced the monster title. If standing up for myself makes me a monster, then let me be a behemoth. If refusing to be disrespected makes me a villain, then I will be the greatest villain this story has ever seen. If having boundaries, if being cold, if cutting off the dead weight makes me heartless, then take my heart. I don't need it. It was only getting in the way. I replaced my heart with an engine. It runs on cold fusion. It runs on the doubt they cast on me. Do you know how powerful that fuel is? When someone tells you you can't and you smile because you know you will, that is infinite energy. I look to my left and I see no one. I look to my right and I see no one. And for the first time in my life, that doesn't make me lonely. It makes me dangerous. A man alone is a man who cannot be compromised. A man alone has nothing to lose. And a man with nothing to lose is the most terrifying force on this planet. They call it isolation. I call it fortification. I built a fortress around my mind. I pulled up the drawbridge. I filled the moat with the tears I used to cry. And now I sit on the throne of my own silence. And it is peaceful here. The devil tries to whisper to me. He tries to remind me of the guilt. Don't you feel bad for becoming this way? He asks, don't you miss the warmth? And I laugh.